Before you called me warmth, before you called me power, you feared me. Every night belonged to creatures that could see what you could not. Darkness was not empty. It was hunting you. You had stone. You had courage. But the night had teeth. Then that night, something even the hunters feared arrived. The sky opened, and for the first time, you saw me. Everyone ran, except one. He did not understand me. But for one heartbeat, fear became curiosity. Then he saw what the others had not. The hunters feared me too. For countless generations, humanity had escaped from fire. That night, one human tried to carry it home. He wanted my power, but he still feared my touch. For the first time, a human was not escaping fire. He was guiding it. But stealing a flame from nature was easier than keeping it alive. Then he understood my first secret. I must be fed. Feed me too little, I disappear. Feed me enough, I grow. His greatest challenge was no longer the flame. It was convincing his people not to fear it. And there, between darkness and stone, humanity kept me alive. First came fear, then warmth, then wonder. Then you discovered why the darkness had feared me long before you did. That night, I gave you something you had never owned before, a piece of the night that belonged to you. By morning, you discovered that I could change more than the night. Something familiar had become something entirely new. Curiosity had brought me home. Now observation began turning me into knowledge. For generations, you ate what nature gave you. Now you had learned to transform it. I was no longer only protection. I became part of survival itself. But you had not yet learned my most dangerous lesson: dependence. You knew how to feed me, but not yet how to bring me back. As my light became smaller, the darkness began moving closer. Then, I vanished. Nature had given you fire once. Perhaps it never would again. So humanity faced a question. Could you create me yourself? You had watched me burn. But watching was not understanding. Your first attempt failed. The darkness moved closer. Failure was no longer disappointment. Failure meant survival. Then, in something ordinary, you saw possibility. A spark was not fire, not yet. Then humanity held something extraordinary: a second chance. Too much, and I would die. Too little, and I would die. You were learning my language. And then, You created me. The sky no longer controlled when fire would come. Human hands did. The moment you learned to create fire, you stopped waiting for nature to change your world. You began changing it yourself. First, you learned to create me. Then you discovered, I could create with you. Earth gave you clay. I gave it permanence. One flame became a craft. One craft became a settlement. Then you placed stone inside me and discovered something hidden within the earth. Stone had shaped your past. Metal would shape your future. With stronger tools, you grew more food, built stronger homes, traveled farther. Around my flames, villages became cities. Once, you feared the night. Now your cities pushed it back. But every gift carries a question. What will you choose to do with it? For thousands of years, I had kept the darkness away. Then humanity discovered something terrible. Fire could become the darkness. The same flame burned on both sides. Only the hands carrying it were different. For one final moment, I was only light. Then one human raised me against another, and everything changed. I had cooked your food, warmed your children, forged your tools. Now you ask me to destroy. Yet even while some carried fire into war, others fought to keep it from taking everything. You believed I belonged to you, but fire has never belonged to anyone. The weapon you released could no longer tell friend from enemy. And suddenly, the people you called enemies faced the same fire. Fire. When my flames disappeared, your differences looked smaller than before. You had seen me protect life. You had seen me threaten everything you built, yet you still kept one flame alive. Why? After everything you had done with me, you still chose not to let me die. One flame survived the war and became the beginning of rebuilding. The same heat that forged weapons could forge tools again. I had burned the field, but human hands could still choose what grew afterward. Civilization did not survive because it never fell. It survived because you rebuilt it. Around me, strangers became neighbors. Stories became memory. Generations changed, yet every night, someone kept the flame alive. Eventually, you learned something greater than creating fire. You learned restraint. Power was never proven by how much fire you could create, but by knowing when enough was enough. Once, one tiny flame protected a tribe from the night. Now thousands illuminated a civilization. After everything you had learned from me, my oldest purpose remained the simplest: keep the darkness away. You were no longer the frightened creatures I first met beneath the stars. It began with one human who chose curiosity over fear. You carried me home. You fed me. Then, you learned to create me. With me, earth became pottery, stone revealed metal, villages became civilizations. Then you asked me to destroy what I had helped you build. Yet even after destruction, you discovered I could build again. I never chose the weapon. I never chose the meal. You did. You spent generations trying to control me. Before discovering the truth, the hardest thing to control was never fire. I am fire. I gave you warmth. You gave me purpose. I was never your greatest weapon, nor